This is Just Amazon on Wednesday, December 19th, 2018. This morning we had a little bit of a rally pre-market. When we got up here, I was looking at the market, before it opened, somewhere down here. And I think somewhere around 7 or something. When I saw this, it's like, whoa, there's the triangle that I didn't see yesterday because this hadn't happened yet. So let me draw at this point what I was seeing. So I was trying to connect up here, and it just was connecting 2 points. But now we got 3 points. Look at that. These highs, these highs, these highs. The lows still doesn't really work. This doesn't really work. This doesn't really work. Back to this one. You'd really have to, in order to grab this low here, you'd have to be cutting off all this and cutting a little bit of the wicks here. So I didn't like that as much. So you can still picture it as a triangle, higher lows, lower highs, but the highs are so clean that this is setting up that it's going to really, this is going to be a line to come back to if we can, if we can get up to it, if we can break out and go bullish. This is the line I'm looking for today. And I saw that back down in here. So let's step into the day and see what happens. First candle, we're just kind of bouncing off of our 1540.45 price. There you go. We're right kind of in the middle of this triangle. If you're drawing this one, but still, we're below this line. So let's see if we can get up a little bit higher and get it to it. Moves up. All right, there we go. We're through it. So now we're above pre-market high. Yesterday we closed here, so now we've moved above yesterday's close, and then this high here is actually right at this pivot. It's really right about that same price. So the very next candle continues up. We made a higher high than yesterday. So remember, the last 2 days it was an inside candle. So at least today we know, okay, we've made a higher low and higher high at this point. We're still only 25 minutes into the day. But it could be something that it's, going to just continue to break out, go bullish. I don't know, but it looks like we're going bullish out of this triangle because we broke this line nicely. Such a great line. All right. There's an upper wick. It doesn't quite get back up to 1578.25. We didn't get back up to it 2 days ago, didn't get back up to it yesterday. We'll see if we get back up to it, but that's a nice inverted hammer at a good location where we were running into some resistance here. So we paused on this candle right at this high. We threw a wick on this candle right up to this high. So this candle and this candle are special in that they've retraced, or they've gone back to those values of those highs. Next one starts to roll back a little bit. Even a reversal. Looks like, okay, this is a really quick retest. Doesn't quite get back down here, starting to bounce, but it went so quick. Small flag, continue higher. It could, but I'm really looking for it to get into this line, and then we throw another upper wick here. Still, we don't get up to this line at 1578.25. So another inverted hammer. This one a bullish candle rather than bearish, but this is the quick retest of this level. We actually come back down to that same price right here. So from the pre-market. So now we've touched prices on this candle for this part of that line, this candle for this part of the line, and now these candles for this part of the line. So we're playing, this move today is playing into these previous pivots really, really well. We just have to wait and see if we're going to get up and touch the next line. In this case, we actually don't. It pulls back, and here we are right into the line. So we came back down, similar low as earlier, this being a high, retesting that. And this is still a retest of this price. We're just getting into a little bit more, and it's more a retest of this line. Then we just go sideways. Look at this. There's a small hammer here. We just consolidate. We get a squeeze forming. We actually have the squeeze fire with bearish momentum. And it's just such an amazing consolidation right here. This is the S curve. This is break out of the triangle, quick retest, secondary retest, wait for some consolidation. And the options in here were so tightly priced that this was just like a given to go bullish. Set it up, just let it play out how it needs to, but look to be buying here, whether you wait for a breakout, buying any of these candles that look a little more bullish, a stop down here. I mean, this is the setup. And so we step into a little bit more, that breaks out and very quickly runs up and still doesn't get into this price. I was just like, look at this. It's like, no, how did it not get there? But, still the momentum shifted, being less bearish, more bullish, obviously, because it moved up. Threw in some upper wicks that are very closely priced. These highs are within cents of each other. Let's see. 1577.17, 1577.26, and 1577.25. So, no tweezers really exact, but really close. But nice stair step up there, and then it stairs up back down a little bit, and then gets up into it. So this was cool to see that. Okay, we ran up, a little bit of pause, get back up in there, and from here it's like, okay, this has been a good resistance. We have not even touched it last couple of days. Let's just hang out up here and see what happens. And what happens is people are selling, comes back down. It starts to form another squeeze, comes right back up here. And if you had not exited here or here, this was your chance to exit. It's like, okay, it could break out. We had this breakout and it rolled back. We had this pause, it didn't break out. Now we got this breakout. At least wait for it to come back down and retest, with something like this kind of consolidation, something where you get, a couple candles forming a squeeze, get out here because this is a great target. And it's already had a really nice S-curve move here. Obviously, this big of a triangle, we're looking for a move, so let's call this 1500 and let's call this 1575. We're looking for that measured move at the open of the triangle to go up by another 75 from the breakout point. So that would be from 1560 going up 75. Really, we're looking for that measured move to get up into 1635. So we could get in now for that to happen, but it's shown us that it's going to retest, that it has been doing retesting. The other thing I was seeing here is some higher highs and some higher lows. So thinking at least this needs to pull back, maybe not even onto this line. Maybe we just need to wait till it pulls back a little bit lower. If we extend this out a little bit, maybe it's in the 1575 price, or maybe wait till that S curves and then touches, with a pullback. And this just becomes an uptrend channel. But there was a lot of people buying here. It's making new highs. People are getting in thinking that's it. We're breaking out. We're breaking this triangle. We're going up. Don't have to worry about anything going bearish. And just take note, right now it's 12:55. At 1 o'clock, we had a Fed update, and that just killed this. You remember yesterday we were talking about this candle that moved from this line to this line within a 5-minute span of time, being pretty phenomenal. This was a move of $15, something like that. What's the range? And this candle, not having the right one, that one, 1270, not 15, 1270 in 5 minutes. This candle moved almost $50. It moved 4 times larger than this candle in the same 5-minute span. Crazy move, crazy pullback. What's also crazy is we've got some lines down here it's coming into. I mean, it didn't pause at this one. Maybe it'll pause at this one. At least, like it's going to do something at these lows, at least consolidate there and then give some direction. It didn't quite get down Some people are trying to buy off of this price being a low, even though it made a new. I mean, this is probably what is happening is this happened. It traps anybody who is getting in today with a stop below today's open price had they just not exited up here, thinking it's going to run. I got a great entry. Okay, you just got stopped out. That's what this candle did. You got stopped out. Oh, more people were thinking, oh, if it just pulled back to that price again, I'll get in. So they've got an entry here, by down here, or by this low. They're getting in. You know, at the same time, though, just like we had some of these prices we were pivoting at, you know, now you've got an upper wick thrown in here. Up here, it's not quite up to this. If you look at this as some sort of multi-top, you know, this uptrend channel, but just the price level, we're not quite back up this high to be selling off so sharply from here. Looking left, you know, where the cursor is, or that line is hitting, it's not really anything that has happened in this range, or right in this area, except, you know, maybe these upper wicks, these upper wick. I'm not wicks, sorry. These upper and the highs. What am I trying to say? These highs, these wicks, this. So, you know, it makes sense that there's a little bit of selling coming in here. Next, we pull back through our next line at 1528, start to bounce, and that rallies up, actually gets back above this line, which I was kind of surprised it happened. But I remembered that something was going with the Fed, so I checked where this was at, and I was trying to get in down here, buying down here. I just missed the entry. It ran. I was trying to get in the option. I think I did 5x4 on the 1600 call expiring this week, virtually just to see, can I get that? And it didn't do it. Had I done like 6x5, it would have worked, and it would have doubled because it went up to 12, I think. And I had a target at 13, looking for it to get up here. So it didn't fill me, and it didn't hit my target. And then because it was virtual, I just left it on, thinking, well, maybe it'll pull back. Well, it pulled back, and I got filled, I think, on this candle, and started to bounce. Like, oh, there you go. Maybe it'll do some weird double bottom massive thing, and started to bounce the same way that this candle bounced. It's like, oh, cool, I'm in. You know, let's see what happens. And then the very next candle stopped out. It's not going higher. It's not going to bounce again. It's actually putting in new lows. Right here, we're contending with the low from 2 days ago. So we're basically now, as of this candle, we did technically take out the low from yesterday. So we took out the high earlier up here and continued to. Now we've taken out the low. This is a bearish engulfing candle at this point of yesterday's bullish candle. The previous day was a very strong bearish candle. We just kind of bookended a little bit of consolidation here, and it's just looking really bearish. So at this point, everyone's just getting out, getting stopped out, whatever, it's coming for everybody. Starts to bounce again down here, but again, it's interacting with these lines. I mean, look at the pause here. Look at these lower wicks on the bullish candles, a place to actually bounce here, and then it sells off again from this price. It's all this is following the ranges and lines we've had in here, and then this just chops last little bit of the day. So zoom back out. You can see this line was really well respected. I'm actually going to leave this on here a little bit longer. We'll see if we do anything to interact with it. But, this sharp move and almost curving move down, started to kind of have this move and then an ABC retracement, and now we're continuing lower. We bookended this candle with this one and this one. Let me switch over to the daily to show that. So we actually today we had a bearish engulfing candle of a bullish candle, and this candle engulfed the previous candle. So it's like a double bearish engulfing candle. But it definitely helped the bears today that so many bulls were looking to buy here. So now, I've been talking about this for a while. This could be inverted head and shoulders. We're at the price now. I mean, we should not go too much further to hold this pattern. If we get below this line and we start continuing with this low, it's obviously not an inverted head and shoulders. It's more of just a accumulation potentially that could turn into a distribution if it does break down and continue lower below 1400. I don't think it's going to get that low. I mean, I'm hopeful it'll bounce in here, but I mean, it really could get that low and really threaten this as just being ahead of an inverted head and shoulders that's just taken, a couple months. I mean, it was starting to form back here in October. So late October to November to December, 2 full months of just this big moves and the indecision consolidating, just everything going on the daily. So the other thing this candle did is it retested up here. The high is 1584.53. The low here is 1585. So we're off of that low. What was the high? We're off of it by less than $1. 1585 and 1584.53. 47 cents. 47 cents away from a full, retracement to the penny. But for Amazon, I mean, this was the last gasp of this thing, retesting here and then breaking down on the 5-minute. And it's just easier to see that price on the daily here. So from here, it would be good to have another consolidation candle, which could set up to go a little bit lower as well. But again, if we start getting to this price, if we start getting to the head price here, then it kind of changes up the whole pattern. It doesn't hold as well to be an inverted head and shoulders. So we'll really wait and see what happens with that. We zoom back in on just the day. This was the place to be buying. Anywhere from 1010 to 1040. So a whole half-hour window. If we go look at 1010 to 1040 on the 1600 call, we get these candles in here. So the range on this 1010, the range on this is under $1, under $1, under $1, under $1, under $1, under $1, under $1. At any point in here, you could have taken one of these candles, gotten in above it, stopped below it, it would have worked. This by this, this by this. Actually, I guess maybe not that one, just because your stop would have been in here, would have hit that. But after that one, doing the same thing with this by this. Just being able to be nimble in this area, to just have that set up and just wait for a breakout or just set up and get in. That ran up and contended with the option high. And just again, we could have been taking profits here, pulled back, secondary opportunity to get in down at that price, and then rallied again and just kind of paused there. And then you're just waiting. I mean, technically this has some higher lows and higher highs until you get to this candle, and it just puts the kibosh on all that. Then we get a retest here of those lows on the option. And that was somewhere we were looking at, what is this retesting? Where'd it go? Yeah, so we're getting some retesting here. And in this case, it looks like a double top that retested and then just rolled completely over. So again, just looking at the 5-minute, where I was trying to get in here, that was 145. Well, sorry, I was trying to get in here, left the trade on at 145. So that was the calls also. So yeah, I was trying to do, the low on this is 530. So I was trying to do 5 by 4, and it just didn't pull back enough. Did that move. I left the trade on 5 by 4. It filled here, and the very next candle stopped me out around 4 or so. Would have been great to have a bounce there, to just get in, let the thing rally. I was hoping to get up to 13, which was just higher than this wick. But there's plenty of opportunities earlier to do this. There was opportunities to be watching how the interactions were on the candles, and just setting up trades based on where these candles are, what the touches are for the pivots, and then these puts. I mean, to some, this probably just came out of nowhere that this kind of thing was going to happen. But like I said, selling here, getting out of a bullish position here, or getting into a bearish one here would be, something to really consider, and it would have worked out really well. So let's look at the put here. Had you bought? So at 12.55, I'm looking at the 1500 put. 12.55, you could have been buying. Hey, the 5x4 price would have worked here, possibly. Bought 5x4, and the low here is 48. So hopefully that would have filled, and then that just rallied, put in a new high in the day. I probably would have been setting up something to exit up here around 14 or 15, just being the high of the day, and just kind of hoping it gets there. It's like once it gets to here, it's like that's kind of the shot across the bow. Like it's so close, pulls back, and then it gets there. Comes back down, and similar price. Easily could have done 5x4 here. So it rallied from that way up here, and then chopped around into the rest of the day here. So that's looking at a couple options to see how this could have moved from what was going on the daily. And then let's see what are uptrends. But there was something else I wanted to discuss on this, but I guess I'll have to wait. So hope this helps your own assessment. This is Justin Amazon. Thanks.